explain these frustrations to the Commission?
Thank you. Firstly, there had been no formal communication to me about the de-establishment of the task team itself, other than what I saw on social media. Secondly, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi had not addressed the de-establishment of the task team in his letter. He had referred only to the removal of the dockets. Thirdly, an enormous amount of work had taken place to ensure the necessary coordination by providing a dedicated prosecutorial team to address all the challenges that had historically been raised in responding to the work of the task team. And fourthly, news of the disestablishment emerged at the time that all of the work that had been put in was clearly bearing fruit and the coordination was producing the desired results.
You responded to Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi's letter. If I can take you to page 195 of the MK12 bundle. Can you confirm that that was your response?
Commissioners, I confirm that this is my correspondence and my response to General Mkhwanazi.
And in paragraph 1, you refer to your correspondence dated 22 May 2025. Is that the letter from Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi that we just saw?
That is correct, Counsel.
Can I then ask you to read the first 3 sentences of paragraph 2 of your letter?
Kindly take note that the purpose of this correspondence is related to the issue of whether the political task team continues to exist. There have been a number of media reports whereby it has been noted that the political task team has been disbanded. Should I continue?
Sorry, and the third sentence?
There has been no formal communication to the Office of the National Director of Public Prosecutions, as well as my office on this issue.
And probably also the fourth, which emphasizes the point.
It is of concern that this office remains unsure of what the correct position is regarding the existence of this team.
Is there anything you would like to add, to elaborate on what you're saying there?
You know, there was a bit of frustration at this time because there had been a lot of work that had gone into responding and getting coordination from the NPA side in the province towards the work of the task team. So when I started off in this way, is because General Mkhwanazi had said nothing in his correspondence regarding the, in his letter dated 22 May, he had said absolutely nothing regarding whether you say disbandment or de-establishment of the political task team. And yet I already had information from the director who was, the deputy director who was heading the section. So you can understand the frustration that there was, and it was all on social media. Nothing was coming from him.
Can I ask you to go to the next paragraph where you refer to Advocate Xaba? Is he the deputy director to who you just mentioned?
Yes, he is the Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, who is the overall portfolio holder for the political killings task team cases.
And what had he informed you?
Can I read what I've noted in the letter?
Certainly.
Thank you. I engaged Advocate Xaba regarding the contents of, that's just responding to that. Advocate Xaba had informed me, as I indicated, that he had informed me that what they had been told by General Khumalo was that they will only be dealing with the decision dockets that they had and will also be dealing only with the court-going matters. They would not be taking in any new matters.
And then if we go to the top of paragraph 190, page 196, can you read what you have written there and explain the significance of it to the Commission?
In 2026, there will be local government elections. We are aware that all elections are often preceded by violent political activity. This consists of murder, attempted murder, assault, criminal injury, malicious injury to property, etc. being committed. The modus operandi differs in that it may involve members from the same political party against each other or between the different political parties. And the reason I say this is clearly in KwaZulu-Natal, we see that every time that there are elections, this is the norm that happens in KZN. And it was a forewarning that in going towards the next elections, which are going to be in 2026, that we can expect that there'll be some spike of political activity, violence within the province. And I was worried, as I said, I was worried at that stage, and a bit frustrated that no one is coming out to tell me what is the correct picture regarding this letter that had now circulated in the media.
Thank you. In the next sentence of the letter, the next paragraph, you speak of being requested to provide dedicated capacity to respond to the political task team. Can you elaborate on that?
Upon my assumption of duty in the province upon my assumption of duty in the province as the Director of Public Prosecutions in May 2019, acting at the time, my office was approached by General Khumalo, who requested for dedicated capacity to respond to the political task team. Basically what had happened is that at that time, my predecessor had nominated Advocate Slepe, a Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, to manage the portfolio. As the work increased, obviously then being on his own, he was unable to deal with all these political cases that were being brought to him. And as a result, General Khumalo was requesting for a dedicated capacity. In other words, he wanted a number of prosecutors to be allocated to specifically deal with these matters.
Thank you. You then refer to annexures to your letter, and we will deal with those annexures separately later. So if I can take you down another 2 paragraphs where you refer to a meeting on 5 August 2019. Can you tell the Commission of the relevance of that meeting?
The relevance of this meeting was that at that time, due to the numerous challenges that we were having within the province regarding just to get the coordination correct, there had been a meeting of 5 August 2019. And at this meeting, we saw that our National Director of Public Prosecutions was at this meeting, and there were several other dignitaries as well that was there. And if I remember, there were also, I think Minister Lamola was also there, because there's a correspondence further down in this bundle that talks to this meeting that came from Minister Lamola.
And what was what came out of that meeting, or what did the meeting decide?
It was decided there were several issues that were basically raised at this meeting. And at this meeting, it was decided that we need to revisit ourselves regarding how we were working. And also, it was also one of the issues that was also discussed was finding a central court to deal with the political killing matters in the province.
Now, in your letter, you referred to a decision that the organized crime component, OCC, would be the dedicated capacity for the politically related cases. Can you tell the Commission what the OCC was?
Thank you. The OCC is the organized crime component, which is a unit that falls within the office. To basically describe the office, commissioners, you've got my position as being the Director of Public Prosecutions, and then you've got underneath, you then have at senior managers of Deputy Directors of Public Prosecutions, and then senior managers also consist of the Chief Prosecutors. So every unit, we've got a few units there. We've got the General Prosecutions that will be dealing with your normal murder cases, and robberies, they can be organized sometimes, but the general murders. Then you will have, for example, the organized crime component, which will be dealing with the more syndicate type of offenses, organized crime, gang type of offenses, and respond to the POCA legislation. Then you also have the tax unit, that will be a specialized tax unit. Then you'll have the specialized commercial crime unit, and then you'll have the asset forfeiture unit. All these are headed by deputy directors of public prosecutions. And then underneath them, you've got advocates that then report to the deputy director. So they will deal with all the work. In other words, they are at the operational ground of the cases. So that is how it was.
And what informed the decision to allocate political killings to the organized crime component, the OCC?
At that time, I also wish to put this before the commissioners. Commissioners, at this time, we were really struggling within the province, and I think the NPA as a whole. There was just no recruitment taking place because of the austerity measures that were in place at the time. But I had to look at all the logistical issues. One, the outcry was there. Whatever we had tried to put into place was not working. So I had to identify a unit. And because of logistics, I decided I needed a unit in Durban because the organized crime component sits in Durban and the task team also sits in Durban, meaning that it would be easier for them to deal with the work. And also what I had at that time was some of the prosecutors within the organized crime at that time also had protectors. So we all know with some of these cases, they come with with challenges with regards to security for our prosecutors. But they also needed to respond to some of our organized crime nature criteria, if I can put it that way. And therefore, I believed at that time that they would be able to respond to the political task team.
Can I ask you just to elaborate on